Hello and welcome back to On the House. Today we're joined by Hlib Trazanov, founder of Astra Motion. And for those that don't know, Astra Motion are one of, if not the hottest video marketing agencies in SaaS and AI right now. They've been working with companies like AlgoCloud, Instabug, Gainsight, and the list goes on. And on top of that, Hlib's story is super unique. You know, he's competed in powerlifting. He's now leading a team of 12 talented Ukrainians. We've got scriptwriters, designers, animators, sound producers. Again, the list goes on. So, without further ado, let's dive straight in. So welcome, Hlib.
Thank you so
You
much.
used to. Thanks for being here, man. You used to be a powerlifter. Now you are leading video in SaaS and AI. Can you walk us through your journey of how you got here today?
First of all, thanks so much for having me here. And I wouldn't separate those two phases of life because they did actually happen at the same time. I was competing and I was making an agency in video production of SaaS because we've been doing this for more than 5 years, almost 6 years of our agency so far. And I'm happy we made it to this point at all because there were plenty of times where it could just stop and we could just go bankrupt and I would do something else. But luckily, I don't know, luckily it happened. So we are here and thank you so much for calling us one of the best in the SaaS space. I would personally not consider ourselves this way. Maybe just one of the well-known ones because I do content on LinkedIn a lot, and this is part of our lead generation strategy and personal branding. That's why you have a perception that we are one of the best, but I'm sure there are so many great companies out there. Our competitors like Zelius Agency, Burnwe was a huge inspiration for us when we started turning into this style of videos. So there are absolutely tons of nice companies out there. And regarding the powerlifting, I've been competing for 8 years or so, and last year I retired. It was my last competition when I wanted to achieve my end goal of in the United States and in Europe they don't have it, but in Ukraine and post-Soviet countries we have not levels, but ranks. There are ranks in chess, like Grandmaster, International Master, Master of Chess. We also have something like this in powerlifting, and I achieved Master of Sports in about 3 years of competing in powerlifting, and then it took me 5 more years, 8 years in total, to achieve International Master of Sports. There's also a Grandmaster title, but I'm not genetically gifted so much, and probably it would take me another 10 years, and I would put all my whole health on this. So I decided this is where my end goal for the powerlifting lies. I achieved it. It's time to move on. And this was the year when I moved out of Ukraine, and now I am in Spain, in Alicante, Calpe, very warm and very beautiful city. And yeah, pretty much the journey goes on. And I combined both. I did powerlifting and tried to grow my agency, and I'd say it's two different full-time jobs. When you're competing in powerlifting, you're spending, I don't know, 3 hours in the gym, and then all the recovery and the stretching in the evening and all the foods and preps. And even if you do like 4 trainings a week, which I had, the next day, which is technically a rest day, you are not training, you're still exhausted as fuck. Like you're dead. You cannot do anything, but you have to because you have the team, you have to do outreach, outbound, do some content. At the time we didn't do much content, but client calls, and you have to be sharp, you have to write scripts. I don't know, the list goes on, but it's technically two full-time jobs, and I decided it's time to move on and start doing business more professionally, not just powerlifting. I achieved what I wanted in powerlifting. Now we start achieving something in business, which I'm very proud of, but we're still not there.
So I love your response as well because I can already tell you're a super humble guy and downplay yourself. But yeah, and I think one question I would love to ask you, we obviously want to talk about your audience and SaaS videos, and we'll move on to that. But in terms of just like how has pushing to an elite level in powerlifting, international master, what have you taken from that and then put into the video? And do you think do you think the success has been kind of tied and connected to each other?
In some ways, yes. That's a very good question. I always ask myself this, especially during hard times. I think, Hlib, damn, if you could achieve international master in powerlifting, you can push through this too, because it's a long journey. Even though powerlifting technically is a strength and explosiveness sport, while business is about endurance, like you have to endure for years and years and grind, and it's about yeah, it's about endurance. So it's completely two opposite I don't know, forces which you have to balance. But in powerlifting, still, if you'd like to achieve something great, you still need to endure for 8 years, for 5 years, I don't know, follow the plan and stick to it. And the largest thing I took from powerlifting and applied it to business, which it was exactly 9 months ago when I started posting on LinkedIn every day. And it was that why didn't I have any schedule plan for everyday business activities for my business while I had this for my training plan? Every training, I had a plan which was written by my trainer, my coach. I actually had two of them. One led me to the Master of Sports, and another one took me to from Masters to International Masters. But they all were basically overwatching me together. And I had a training plan. I followed it, and I knew I had a competition date which is fixed. So you're not required to struggle for years. Like you know you have 3 months of prep and you gotta perform in 3 months. And in business, I was like, there's no end date, there's no deadlines, there's no plan I should focus on, and there's no training sessions, I would say, per day. And it was more like, oh, let's do fun things. Let's change a new website. Let's run some ads randomly. We didn't have money, but let's run some ads. Like we haven't tested anything, but let's do SEO. Let's do something fun. I don't know. And every day you're finding yourself, you're finding new tasks for yourself that are not needed. They're not consistent. Every day is something new, and you just don't go anywhere. And this was the biggest problem for me. I don't know, the first 4 or 3.5 years of the business, yeah, maybe even 4 years of the business. It's just random things. And I'm super lucky we made it alive to this point, because this is not how you build business. And I realized if I had a training plan in powerlifting and I followed it, and it has a progression and it has an end date, and I followed it and I progressed in it even over 8 years, let's do something like this in business. And I just divided my day into blocks. The first block of the day is the most important stuff. I call them 3 stars. It's like you do or die. You cannot not do this thing. It's like the LinkedIn post, or the outreach setup, or there are some just major or you need to reach out to 20 people on LinkedIn every day, or you need to do 10 common things. Without this, the business won't grow. And even you can I don't know, send a contract to the client tomorrow and your business won't die. But if you don't do the outreach, if you don't post the content, if you don't do XYZ, your business won't grow. So this is the first block, the most important one. Then comes the second block, which is running an agency. So you've worked for 3 hours in the day already, and now you're just starting your agency day. You started running your team, communications with clients, calls with new clients. Maybe you need to review some scripts or write the new one, your own, from scratch. All of those agency tasks are in the second block. And the third block is just like optional. It's, I don't know, let's do something fun. Let's update something on the website. And sometimes people do the third block first instead of doing the first one or the second one. So the priority system A, the plan for each day which you're following relentlessly, is B, and enduring for, I'd say, a couple of years, and just do this, continue grinding, and everything will be fine. So this is the biggest lesson I learned from powerlifting, and I know if I achieve that, I can transform that into other areas. They're different, but they're similar. So something can be learned from this.
Oh, I love that. I love that as well because I relate. I really relate to the blocks as well because I don't know if you've tried this, but I'm the same as you. The content, the growing the business has to come first, even though I fundamentally believe that the client's work should come first and retention should come first. Because if you swap it round, I would end up going, oh, well, I'll continue doing client work into the afternoon, and then LinkedIn gets sidetracked, everything gets sidetracked. So I completely agree. Like having that block in the morning, get it done,
Hmm.
and then afternoon client work, and then I think I operate quite a similar principle as well. And in terms of seeing progress in your business, um, is there a parallel there with powerlifting? Because I imagine like you don't want to just turn up into the gym, you've got your schedule, but then
Hmm.
you're just maxed it out and you're working as hard as possible. Is it like, should you be going at 50%, 80%, 100%? How do you work out like the scale of intensity within those blocks as well?
I don't know. It's a very tough question. Yeah, frankly, I just don't know. I try to push myself a little bit. Sometimes I get too comfortable, especially when you get big wins, like you signed a huge client. We signed a $35 billion enterprise as a client. I cannot name them. We signed another enterprise, which I still cannot name them. So we've signed really good clients during the past couple of weeks. And there are some big wins after which you're like, okay, I'm settled for the next couple of months at least. I can relax a bit. I can skip here. I can skip there. And then you become too comfortable. And then it's so hard to come back because shit hits the fan, something goes wrong, and you're not strong enough to resist it, to fight it. So sometimes I try to push myself a little bit into the discomfort zone, but this is not the end goal. I don't want to turn my life into a discomfort, grinding routine, only striving for more and more and more. I realized I want more, like I'm ambitious as a person, but it has limits. Like I had in powerlifting, there is an end goal. If I achieve it, I'm good. I won't need to push myself further and further and further to the extremes. It's not needed. Like there has to be some balance in life. And I'm a big believer in seasons. There are one season when you should push hard, push more than ever. Like there is a winter arc, it's called, like when you're just lock in and you work. This is something I'm gonna do this winter. And once you've finished it, there has to be some off season, as we call it in powerlifting. You're competing for 3 months, and then 2 or 3 months you're in an off season. You're technically still going to the gym, you're still doing the lifts, but you don't have a strong progression. You're not focused 100%. You're giving yourself some time to relax, to think about your path, the direction. So this summer was exactly off season for me. Technically, it's not considered a hot season in marketing videos for us. So last couple of years, the summer was completely slow. Like we just turned off all our email outreach campaigns because we knew we weren't able to sell anyone. We had 150 email accounts, so this is a huge volume, and we still weren't able to close anyone. And then starts the September. Okay, the market is live again, and the December is boom, like you're so overwhelmed, and then May is also a huge boom for us. But this summer was pretty active because of referrals, even though we technically didn't have an outreach setup in place. Just because we had so many referrals, we still had a lot of work to do, and I didn't have proper time to relax and to have this full off season. But maybe a week or two I will get it in September, because soon is my birthday on 30th of September. So maybe I'll have a day or two off. So yeah, technically there should be seasons. You cannot just increase, as in powerlifting, you cannot just increase the weight on the bar every session and expect that you're going to grow. There has to be we call it periodization. Like you go down one step and then you go 2 steps up, and then you maybe maintain, and then you go one step down again and again 2 steps up, and this is how you're like you grow gradually. So there have to be seasons, and I'm not a big believer that you need to grind your whole life, and there has to be an end goal somewhere there, which is your north star. For me, it's 1 million ARR in profit for our agency. If we get there, I think it's good. Like in terms of agency, this is more than good. You've proved yourself, everything. You've proved to the market. You've proved to everything, to anything, to anyone. Now you can do just what you want. You can sell it. You can keep it as a cash cow. You can, I don't know, you can do whatever you want from this. As SaaS companies say, 10 million ARR is your fuck you money or fuck off size. Then for agencies, it's I'd say around 1 million because the models are a bit different. But yeah, pretty much I hope I answered your question. Sorry if too many words.
No, it's amazing, man. It's just really good to like share your kind of mindset because obviously, like we say, like high level in multiple different things, and I think it's really good. And I like the idea as well of like you say, it's not about maxing out on the bar, like lift heavy each week. It's like sometimes if you're plateauing, it might be a time to tone it down a little
Hmm.
bit so that you can go 2 steps up. And I love that philosophy. So just moving on to a quick fire round then, before we get into the nitty gritty of videos and things like that. So out of all the videos you've done, which
Hmm.
are you most proud of and why?
Um, Probably Neural Seek. I don't know if you have seen it. Maybe I can share it for the viewer, or you're gonna edit it later. I don't know, but Neural Seek is the one that I personally love the most in terms of style, in terms of the flow, the music. Everything was perfect there. Maybe there is a way I can share it also. This is our portfolio. There are two videos we did for Neural Seek. The one is like a promotional kind of 45 seconds dynamic, just typography, a flashy style. And another one, which is around 1 minute with voiceover, a little bit slow paced, but it's so prestigious looking. It's so good. I just love it so much. There we go. But pretty much visually, yeah, I think Neuralseek one is the very best so far. And another one we're working on right now maybe is gonna overblow this one. I don't know if the word is correct, but it will be even better. It will be even better and more dynamic and even better. We try to improve one video after another. It's not always possible because there are deadlines, and some videos we only have 7 days for the video to complete, even though technically it takes 3 weeks for a video from going from the script, storyboarding, designs, animation, sound effects, but we only have 1 week for certain projects, so it's technically impossible to do your very best and every your video becomes better than the previous one. Technically not possible, but it's a volume game, and if lots of clients are sharing our videos, if we have lots of videos to share, there is a perception like you're guys everywhere. You're guys all over the place. I see your videos every time you're working with everyone I know, and I like this perception. This is even more important than one time uh, vast output of one video, one particular video.
Wow. What do you think makes a video special like the Neural Seek one? Do you think, and I'm sure it's many things. I think one of the things I've noticed with your videos is it's not just one thing. It's not just flash. It's not just like it just looks super amazing. You capture the brand. It's got the UI. It's got all of that. The transitions are just so nice. But it's like you can so clearly like see the value proposition and what they do and what the offer is, and it's not there's no cognitive load. But like, what would you say is the order of importance, do you think?
I personally write scripts myself, so I think scripting is the most important part in any video. It's not the graphics, it's not the visuals, even though technically transitions are cool and they're synchronized with music for some wow effect. It's just not that important. The most important is scripting, and a good example is Monday.com. I love their videos because of the unique writing style of the script. And Ari Kuchar, probably is his name. He's a former creative director at Monday.com, and he pioneered this style of SaaS comedy type of product videos, where instead of just saying, well, did you know that it takes ages for a corporate worker to hear from their IT team to help set up the workplace? And they just, instead of this, they put a skeleton who died from waiting on a phone line, waiting for their IT team or something like this. So they can exaggerate the problem to the max degree. They show visuals, very strong visuals to hook well, and they use lots of jokes and basically, yeah, the scripting is super important for everything, to hook the attention, for retention, to keep the engagement high, and for the value prop, because there are many hundreds of features. Which one do you mention first? Like, or how do you show them? Do you show them in a demo format, or you just mention it in a text form quickly, or you're diving deep and you're showing the demo? And I don't know. So there are hundreds of ways how you can explain the value prop. So scripting is the part where everything comes together and you're trying to foresee 2-3 steps ahead of you how the video is going to look like, what the transitions should be. And in order to write a good script, you cannot just hire a scriptwriter externally and expect him to write a good video for you. You have to know all the steps yourself. So unfortunately or fortunately, I was the one who was writing most of the scripts for the last, I don't know, 30 or 40 videos. But now we got a new script writer and he's learning from me. I can just pass all my scripts. Look, here's the scripts. Here's the breakdowns I did for other videos. Here's the trends. Here's everything. Now use this as ChatGPT and just learn it. Now you become the ChatGPT from my input. And he's doing really good. He's doing really good. A little bit of changes here and there, and boom, you got a very cool video perspective. We've tested him on 3 new projects already and being doing super cool, because it's one of my goals is to get out of production so I can focus more on the content and on sales, because it takes a lot of time on the production itself. I'm sure you know, you're producing videos, you know how time consuming the production itself is. So yeah, this was my goal, to get out of the production. So yeah, answering your question, sorry, too many words. Answering your question, scripting, I think, is the most important thing. The visuals matter, I'd say not the least, but they're not so important. Monday.com don't have really cool visuals. They're really basic screenshots of the app or something. But the scripting was there, and it got like 28 million views on YouTube organically. So it was super cool. So scripting comes first, and then everything else. And in order to write good script, you need to know everything about anything. How it goes, where it's going to be in the funnel, what does the client expect from the video, who's the target audience, who are you speaking to, are they 50 years old, security managers who are valuing those things, and they will just not understand the quick and flashy typography style videos. They need some voiceover, low pacing, and we need to start with the credibility hook. Like, for example, we did with Neuralseek. Here's how leading enterprises are using Neuralseek for governance AI or something. And we're showing the Verizon, the Adobe logos or something. This is the first question they will ask. Who else is using this? And the second question, is this secure? So and then we start explaining that this is secure. This is our promise. And now we're going to explain you how exactly or why. So you have to consider all those small, tiny details and then put this all together in a video. So I wouldn't say there are steps. It's everything together. You just collect many different puzzles from different things and you just compress it into one thing, and this is how the video is being born. Yeah.
Wow. By the way, I love the fact how you're going off script a little bit, because it's just so many like insights here. And it makes sense that scripting's the most important as well, because it's the most like upstream step in creating a video. So like if you don't get that bit right, everything downstream of that
Mhm.
isn't going to be right. How, and obviously like you say, it's so who is watching dependent. Like what uh, it's who is watching, but also what stage are they at in the buyer's journey as well.
No.
Like, do you want to lead with overcoming objections, which is probably the more security and the credibility stuff, or do you want to lead with the more like attention grabbing stuff?
Mhm.
Um, And I guess this is like just a really like bit of a challenge for you to figure out like how do we structure this video.
Yes, yes, yes. When we nail the scripting, I'm like, "Phew, phew, okay, we did the job. Now it's the easy part. It's just to design it and animate it. And so technically it takes 80% of the production time, but you know you're in a good spot when you nail the script. Then it's just easy. It's just execution then. So the execution is easy when the strategy part is solved. So yeah, and this is the same thing in movies as well. So you can have the $1 billion budget for a Lord of the Rings new series or something, and it's gonna be shit because the scripting is bad. Even though there are all the visual effects, all the camera angles, the gear, like you can have everything, but it's just on the very basic level is wrong for the wrong target audience, the wrong story, and well, yeah, it's just not good. So the scripting is the most important thing, and then everything comes on top of that. So yeah.
I love that, and I think there's a lot of hope as well for like smaller like founders who are building a SaaS on their own, or even like small agencies, maybe marketing agency or whatever, because you realize that if you're giving enough value or you've got the right story, you've got the right script, you can literally like film on your phone and do well. And it's just it doesn't need to be super flashy, but that's obviously a bonus for the bigger companies. It's another separator and it's another thing that looks good. But um so okay, so most proud of Neuralseek.
Mhm.
Which was the most technically challenging for you?
Oof, that's a hard question. There are different kinds of difficulties in production. Sometimes it's just hard because the deadlines are so tight. Sometimes it's hard because you're working with a less experienced team member on a project, for example, because obviously we're a team of 12 and it's not always the one our best skilled animator is working on everything. Sometimes there are different animators, or we have 4 designers, for example. Some of them are new to our style, or they don't have enough portfolio built with us during the years and recent videos. So sometimes I personally need to spend much more attention towards the video to make it right. While with other team members, it's just like you give them a general task and they figure it out and it looks amazing and everyone says how perfect you are as an animator. And I'm like, I didn't do anything. It's just the team members are so great. So it's so very different and I cannot even describe. Every project is different, different difficult. This is how I would describe it, but nothing in particular.
So it's less about the client challenge and it's more about the capacity in the team
Hmm.
and and how much effort it is on your side. That's interesting. And um which has been the tightest deadline? I heard you obviously say 7-day turnaround.
Hmm.
And obviously you're doing scripting, you're doing storyboarding, you're doing everything. What did those 7 days
Hmm.
look like? Um,
Oh, the 7 days. One video we did for Serva, for Lawrence, in 7 days. But for Gainsight, we did 8 videos in 2 weeks in parallel. So it's not just one video a week, it's 8 videos in 2 weeks. And how the days look like, you are online 24/7. We have different time zones. They're in the United States, we're in Europe, and we have to be online in the late evening and during the night because this is the daytime on their end. If they're giving any feedback or any suggestions, we need to apply it immediately because this is, I think, the core principle. If you want to move fast, you need to reduce the time between the feedback and applying the feedback. Let's say you've provided the storyboard concept, you give it to the client, and the client gives you a couple of options immediately. Like you've agreed upfront that you will need to give us feedback almost immediately, as if like there is no middleman between us, as if like we're doing this video for ourselves and we know exactly how we want it to be. So there is no time delay between the revision, between the feedback and applying this feedback. And there's also no no time between they provided the feedback and we apply it. So it has to be mutual. If both are aligned, both parties, you as the production company and the client, then it's super possible. Also, if you already know each other well, and maybe you've completed other projects, you know this working style and so on, you can just do nice from the first try, and there's going to be little to no edits at all. So the most quick projects we had were because we didn't have revisions at all, and because our clients could provide us feedback immediately, and we applied it immediately and sent it to the next stage, and it just runs as water. Like, it's so quick and so fast, and boom, 1 week passed, the project is done, and you move to the next one. And then someone is saying, how do you manage to produce so many videos in your team? Well, yeah, because our clients are great. It's also a big part of the production process, not just on our end, but on the client's end. And also, the one thing I remembered about the previous question about the technical difficulties. Sometimes, especially with big companies, they have branding guidelines and they have Figma designs for all their UIs to be shown in the video. They just send it over to us and we use them directly in our storyboards. That's easy. That's easy. But when you have a startup like Neuralsic, for example, and they don't have anything related to branding, just a logo and 2 colors, primary colors, and go figure out everything yourself, and you have 7 days and we don't have a ready branding, and now we need to finish a video, this is where it becomes challenging, because you need to design the whole branding package for them, and the only way to do this so they are happy with it, you provide them at least 3 options. You give them 3 colors, shapes, fonts, I don't know, 3 different look and feels. They pick one very quickly, and you start developing the rest of the storyboard for this in this style in particular. And for example, yesterday we had to redesign the whole Adobe Premiere Pro interface UI with all little details just for 1 or 2 shots in the video, because we could not make the screenshot. It would look very bad. We just need to redesign it, all the interfaces in Figma, in vector shapes, because we were working only with custom animations. We did not use any screencastings in our videos. So this was technically challenging when you don't have assets and you need to produce them very fast. So this is, I think, the only technical difficulty we may face when working with startups. It doesn't happen when working with larger companies, luckily, but they have other issues, like 3 layers of approvals, many decision makers, net 60 payments, like processing and stuff. So there are pros and cons in each, but I don't complain. All are great.
Wow. Yeah, it sounds like there's a lot of attention to detail, like reproducing UIs, especially with the smaller startups, and that, like, that just showing for like a fraction of a second or a couple of seconds on the screen, and then doing that multiple times. It's yeah, I think that's the thing that stands out, is just insane attention to detail. I think that's how that's one of the key words or like phrases I'd use to encapsulate what you do, as well as many other things. But final quick fire question then, and we'll talk about some of the different types of videos. And I know that, like, looking at your content, you do a lot of you care a lot about ROI of videos. You're not just about, let's create a video, here you go. You're like, let's track, let's look at how well this performed. Is there a video that stands out to you in particular, and like the ROI it generated for a client?
Yeah, I'm trying to push this direction even more than it is right now, because clients are, it's difficult to get some feedback, proper feedback on the performance from the client, even if you agreed upfront that you will ask for this information. It still maybe takes 2 weeks delay before they give you some review or something, or they don't give you anything at all, and you just follow up 10 times to get this information in place, and then somehow you can get it, which you're happy about. So there's no clear feedback. There's no feedback direct. You're not facing the feedback from the market directly. While in ads, for example, it's very black and white. You put the video in ads and you see how it performs. If the CPC is too high, the cost per click is super high, the math won't work and it's just too expensive. If the hook is bad, the engagement is low, like the CTRs are low. So you can instantly see the feedback by the market and you can adapt, you can iterate well. And you have this feedback by market backed by data. And this is how you can make even better, more engaging, more viral videos, more performing videos. And we can become better as a video agency. So this is the direction that we're going to push more in the coming year. And answering your question regarding the ROI on our videos, we just finished the video for GreedMe startup, and SAR, the client, posted it 2 days ago and probably got 250 likes on LinkedIn or something. And 8 or 7 people are asking who produced this video. So it's the shortest, the most recent example. Gainsight mentioned our videos were one of the most high performing in their ads. On their events, they had a huge event in Las Vegas where they had big screens and they showed our videos there. And they put it in organic YouTube. It got probably 5,000 views in a couple of days. So that was pretty good. And probably overjoy. The goal was there to use the video on the website to increase the conversions, and they had a huge bounce rate because people were dropping off. And with the video, people spending more time on the website, and the average session time increased 3 or 4 times, and the average engagement is like 65% or something. So for each video right now, the purpose and the ROI is different because each client has different goal. And it's very hard to get the proper feedback because you're working with like one-timers. I call them one-time videos for one specific use case, for one specific platform, and it's very hard to get the proper market feedback on this video. But in the next year, hoping we'll have even more control over this, and I'm going to be collecting everything I can on the video so that we don't just judge, okay, we made some videos and they worked for you. It's a good partnership for you as a client and for us as an agency, but so that we can learn how to create better videos. Like algorithms on Instagram or YouTube, they learn by your engagement what you like, and they give you even more addictive videos that you would like to see and watch. So this is something, if we can nail that, we already proved our videos look sexy, look good, and we already have some decent engagement and stuff like that. But if we can prove that we can make a lot of money for our clients with those videos consistently, and I will have lots of data for this, not just occasional random data by certain projects, but lots of data proving this. This is a game changer. Like, I think we'll get to 1 million, 2 million ARR per year because it will skyrocket from there. It will be completely else, something out of this world. So yeah, this task is something I will be focusing on in the coming year. Yeah.
Interesting. So it's just capturing data now. And does that come with only offering a certain type of video? Like, are you going to kind of say pull back on certain videos and say let's just do ads, or are you thinking no, we can also do the website ones? What are the different buckets of video that you think you're going to be offering in the future?
Mhm.
And which platforms should they be on, and which stage of the buyer's journey? And would love to know a little bit more.
Oh, okay. So we're in the theory realm, like the marketing theory. I like that. Yeah, sure. We'll walk you through real quick. My thoughts on this one. Obviously, it's not something you will learn in the books, or it's just our experience of doing things. Very basic. There are 3 stages of the buyer journey: top of funnel, middle of funnel, and bottom of funnel. The difference is the context that the buyer has on your product and on your solution. Top of funnel users, they're seeing you the first time. It can be social media, it can be ads too. So both of them can be top of funnel if you're targeting the cold audience. They don't have a damn clue about you at all. And your video has to take this in mind. Like, you have to maybe they're not even problem aware target audience. They're not sure about the problem that it exists in the first place. Not that they're ready to buy and they're choosing between options. And there can be different hooks for that, completely different, like problem solution hooks. Like you've asked in one of the comments, why you start with a problem in one video and why you start with the solution and completely skip the hook part in the second video. Why does it happen? Because of the different buyer journey in the context. Some people just don't know shit about you, while others already went through reading your post, clicking on your ad, or Googling you directly, and they ended up on your website. They're making a decision to buy. They're closer to the end of the bottom funnel, and now they just need to see the product in action. They just need to see the demo. And if you put a promotional video on the landing page on the website, which starts with, did you know that 80% of customers are struggling with this? They're just closing it and leaving it and forget. Like you lost the momentum. You lost them at this point. Just show the damn product. If they're on the website already, they went through a large path of getting there, and they have so much context about you. Just skip the boring part, start with the product. You don't even need to add some social proof in those kinds of demo videos on the website. Just show the product, as much of the product as possible, make it short and quick, and you're good to go. While for social media, for external media, like when people don't know anything about you, they're seeing you for the first time, they don't trust you yet. This is where we use the problem solution narratives. We start with a problem hook. We add some social proof blocks in the middle of the video. It can be showing the founders' faces, or I don't know, big company logos, or some ROI stats, or something that we can show quickly, but it shows that, okay, this company is legit. Like we did a video for Faro, a conversion companion, and they put this video on a Shopify app listing, like an app store for Shopify. And they had 39 or 49 5-star reviews, not even 4.9, but 5-star reviews. And we just quickly showed that when we introduced the solution in the video, just one badge, like 45-star reviews on Shopify app. One small detail, you don't even need to mention it in a voice in the video and spend like a sentence on it. You just add it on top of like a badge on top of the product UI. And this is it. This is also already a very good social proof, and it helps the buyer, the cold buyer who don't know anything about you, decide and understand, okay, they're pretty legit. Let me check them out. So in a nutshell, yeah, it's all about context. How much do they know about you? And then you just show them what they want to see at this stage when they are. That's why all videos are different. All the structures for different videos start differently. The hooks are different. One videos can be short, punchy, just to capture your attention and redirect you to the landing page. And then the landing page does all the heavy lifting of nurturing and converting you. While some videos are like 1 minute full breakdown with social proof, with the demo part inside, and they're trying to put everything in one video and compress this whole funnel into one video so that you have answered all your questions just by looking 1 minute video. And it's also good, it works sometimes, especially if the landing page is weak and you cannot convert them there. Maybe the video can take the heavy lifting if it's good, if it's engaging, if it's interesting, if the product is interesting, the video can do that. So yeah, so many details and nuances. It's so hard to explain it in a nutshell, but yeah, it's all about context, and then you go from there. You see where it's going to be used and how much people know at this point about you, and then you show them the rest, what they need in order to fill the whole puzzle to convert.
Yeah, I love that. And it's like you say, it's just so context dependent. It's like speaking to the client and saying, like, what is the goal of this video, who it's for, is it for social media, is it top of funnel, what stage of awareness? And then once you've kind of captured all that stuff, then you can go, we don't need a label for it, we don't need to call it this type of video or that type, we just know what they want and we're going to structure it in this way and do it. And I imagine as well, like you can chop bits out of, say, the top of funnel video and maybe put it in the bottom of funnel video. Like you can use them all. But then if the client comes back to you and says, oh no, we're going to use this for our website as well, you might go, oh, actually you probably need another video for that because of like XYZ. So
Yes. Yes.
I love how deep you go. And so brilliant. So one of your recent posts, I think it was last week now, but I might got the weeks mixed up. You talk about sushi philosophy,
Yeah.
Can you
Yeah.
talk about what that means when it comes to video?
Yeah. I was. It was a very I'd say personal story of my thoughts about product market fit, and I try to explain it in words that are easy to understand for other people. Like, what are the chances that you hit the product market fit right, that you nail it? And the chances are absolutely like coming close to zero, because in sushi, first you need to understand that most of the population generally likes this type of food. Okay, and this type of food has to have certain ingredients like rice, nori, soy sauce, or fresh fish. No more, no less. Like if you put any more ingredients like mayonnaise or ketchup on it or something, it will fuck this thing up. Even though technically before that everything was correct. So one extra detail or one missing detail uh, ruins everything completely. Now you know all the ingredients. Now you start making sushi. In what proportions should you make those sushi? Like how much rice should you put in? How much fish? How much nori? If you mess up with the proportions, it's just uneatable, and it's not. You already know people love sushi. They want it. You already know the ingredients, and now you can mess up with the proportions of them. This is another place to fuck up. Okay, let's say you've nailed the proportions. You made the sushi right with the right ingredients. You know people love them. And why do one people love sushi from one place and completely hate sushi from another place? I mean, technically, they're all with the same ingredients, the same proportions, and stuff like that. There is style component in it, like the small flavor. Maybe the ingredients are slightly different. Maybe one chef had warm hands when he crafted the rice, and now it's not. It's more closer together, and it's just tastier. So it's all those extra tiny invisible details that create the whole style of it. And when you combine all those steps together, it's almost impossible to invent sushi and invent them in the right set of ingredients with the right proportions in the right style that most of the people will like. But if you do this, you will have all the client base in the world, and everyone will speak about this, and it goes like into infinite from this. So you're struggling for infinity, or for, I don't know, 8 years, let's say, and let's put this in human life, and then you finally hit the sweet spot, and it goes like exponential from there. This is what I mean by product market fit. And I think this is something we found with our videos, because we've been doing them for almost 6 years at this point, and we also did SaaS videos. So technically we work in the same niche, with the same team, with the same production process. There was storyboard scripting. There were problem solution, call to action narratives. Like everything is the same, but just style is a little bit different. Before we did like cartoonish explainer videos with characters. They were a bit more abstract, and like, I don't know, the characters shaking hands, and some abstract icons, and something that tells you something but doesn't show you anything, and you're not getting the full picture anyways. So you think like you've watched a cartoon, but you don't have an understanding of the product anyways. But at that time, 3 or 4 years ago, it was more than enough to work. Like if someone had a perfect explainer video, like good quality explainer video, and they put it on the website, it worked. But now it doesn't, because the audience is different. Their attention span is different. They want to see more direct, more clear stuff. They want, just show me the product. You can hook me in the beginning of the video, but then you still have to show me the product and what it does and how it looks like, how it's going to feel like to use it, even if it's just 30 seconds. So we switched completely to those kinds of UI product videos. I call them product videos, not explainer videos anymore, because we're not explaining stuff. We're just showing the product in the best angle possible. That's why it's a product video. And technically, it's the same stage, it's the same niche SaaS, it's the same team, it's the same production process, just a little bit different style, and everything changed from there, like just completely different trajectory. And LinkedIn just amplified this, because when I started posting about this, it just gave me some organic reach, and then more and more, and this is how clients finding us on average. So yeah, product market fit is a very hard, almost impossible mathematically thing to achieve. The only way you can achieve it is through time. You just try. If you try for 8 years, you got, I don't know, 10,000 absolute amount of tries. And this, every next try is just giving you another chance to hit those ingredients right, to hit the style right, to hit the proportions and everything right. But before that, nothing is going to work. So I'm calling this, it's either nothing works or everything works and you're golden. So there's nothing in between for a founder. You either broke as fuck or you were super rich and you don't know where to find new people, how to scale, and there's completely different set of problems, so yeah, this is my post about sushi philosophy, like about product market fit.
It's incredible, isn't it? It's because you've got like you can have two people next to each other. One of them, they've both got the same ingredients. One of them's a top chef, and the other one's never made sushi before. But both of them know when they taste sushi whether it's amazing sushi. Like that, I remember like doing a lot of design stuff, and people say like when you look at a website and you're like, this isn't very good, but you don't know how to recreate it. It's like your taste is ahead of your skill level. And people have really amazing taste. They can look at something and go, wow, but they can't explain or understand or break it down as to why. And it's almost like what you've been able to do is break down at each stage, like, okay, attention spans are getting shorter. We need to cut straight to the solution on this platform. Like you've
Mhm.
really honed it on breaking down what is working. Like you've thought about this very logically. I don't want to have you got an extra 10 minutes, Lee? But I don't want to
Yeah,
take up
yeah,
too
yeah.
much more.
Sure. Absolutely. It's a pleasure to be here.
Awesome, man. Well, I'll just ask a couple of quick questions. So, um, how will AI affect agencies in the next 1 to 2 years? And how will it affect agencies like yourself? And how can you build a moat to protect yourself?
Mm. Yeah, that's a very good question. I think everyone speaks about AI, and AI is doing code right now. AI are building SaaS platforms. AI is doing design, but AI cannot write a good script for my uh, product video yet, and it cannot do some motion graphics animations. I've seen some good AI like 5 second snippets of motion graphics, but it's not editable, of course. You cannot change it. It's not in After Effects. It's just the MP4 pre-rendered file. So it's going somewhere, and maybe as an agency we have 1 or 2 years left in the tank. How like, we can still operate as a video production agency and leverage our production skills as a valuable asset. This is what I think about what's going to happen with AI and video production agencies. The execution won't matter. Only your application of the videos and turning videos into cash for your clients will matter. So the strategy part will be the only one that will remain. Now it's the strategy plus execution. If you're executing it nicely, others can't replicate what you're doing because you got talent, you got skills, you can do nice videos, and people are coming to you only for the execution part, let's say, and you get decent living out of this. But in the future, the execution won't be a limit. AI will do all the work you ask it to do. Now it's a matter of deciding which videos to produce, where to put them in our funnel, and how many videos do we need, and what message do we want to show, in which order, in which sequence to our users to guide them from the very complete unknown and cold audience to the very trusty and loyal audience who is buying your stuff and continue paying. So the strategy of turning videos into cash will be the only thing that matters. And those agencies who just operate, they just execute, they just produce videos, and they're asking for a creative brief by a client. Well, you give us, you tell us, you give us the script, you give us what kind of videos you need, and we will just design the video. They will go into extinction because they will just disappear. It won't be relevant anymore. And only the ones who now can get into the strategy part and start to understand, reverse engineer what kind of videos work, what didn't, what was the hook, what was the idea, what was the buyer journey, what was the channel. If they're starting to, like we're doing it now, we're trying to understand what's working, what's not. This is something that will be the only important thing in a couple of years, maybe in a year or two. And yeah, I don't know how it will affect the team. I think in terms of the trends, we'll have even more and more content. And one man band will be able to produce hundreds of videos a day for their clients instead of one video in 4 weeks, or even one video a week. Our best speed possible today. It will be just very funny in a couple of years. They will be producing so much volume of content, and it will be achievable with only one or two people in the team. So I think, yeah, you need to learn the strategy part and test it yourself, test it with your clients, ask them, please give me some feedback. I want to learn from this. Even if you need only video and you're happy with this, I need this personally for myself to understand how it's been doing, what was the engagement rate, where it dropped off. Maybe we need to fix the hook slightly, and take this responsibility on your side. Don't ask client for any extra money or something. Just change the hook if it doesn't perform. Just do something about the video. Take responsibility for the results, and you will be in a good spot. I hope. This is my plan, at least for the next couple of years. Yeah.
I love it, mate. And oh, hit the mic. Yeah, I love it. And I think the other thing as well is like you've done so many scripts now that obviously we talked about you breaking it down why it works, but you've also got the gut feeling as to you just know by looking at something like whether that is right or not. And I think that's another thing that, people can come to you and be like, Hlib, tell us, what do we need to do? And you've got the reps in to know. So yeah, no one can replace that from you as well. So okay, to just to wrap up then, mate, what's next for you and Astra Motion next year, next 6 months?
I already partially answered this question. We're gonna focus more on ad videos and ad directions. There are a couple of reasons for that. Because A of A. Okay, point one, ad directions. Point A out of point one is that it's important because we've always worked with one-timers, like one-time projects, even though technically clients are coming back for more now, much more than it was before. I'm very happy about this. It means we're doing something right if the same client is coming back for the second, third, fourth video in a row. This is a very good sign. But still, it's still one-timers. Like, it's not something ongoing. It's not something recurring. And I don't want to force subscriptions on a video where it's not needed. I want it to be on demand still. But in the ads nature, it has to be ongoing. So it has to be on a regular basis because of ad fatigue. You need new and new creatives every week, every month, and it's naturally that they will want more if it performs well. So I was thinking, if we're getting in touch with larger companies who can afford to advertise, they are a different set of clients who can afford our services too. And they have a larger need so the pain is big. They need product videos for ads, and many of them, and in a good quality, and they need to perform. So, and on a weekly basis. So the need is so hard. It's not like you're reaching out to some startup and you're pitching them a video and they're like, yeah, maybe in 3 months, and oh, we only have $500 for this one. So it's a completely different beast. And I was hoping to solve all our problems of cash flow with this move. Like, if we go into the product ad videos direction, we're going to have some recurring money potential because now we can charge for packages, let's say 10 ad videos during the next month, or 3 videos plus 3 hooks for each. It's 9 variations. So you can charge for packages, and then you need it monthly. So you solved the cash flow issue, which was a big issue for our agency for the most years. And it's not a problem for, let's say, a lead gen agency because they're charging on a monthly basis, recurring, and their business model is supporting that, and they're good. Or even media buying agencies, they can just charge for 3 months contract and then just continue charging ongoing. We could not do this. We made one video, it costed 5K USD, let's say, and then it ended in a month, and that's it. And we need to find for new clients every single month with outreach, with content in order to survive. So I was hoping if we get to the SaaS ads category, it's another league of clients, which is already can afford your services. B, it's recurring. And C, we will get the marketing data from the market and how it's performing. And we will learn from this and we will become better and create even better videos after this. Because with one-timers and startups, for example, you don't have the data, you don't have the feedback. Other than, well, Hlib, the video was great. We liked it, and the investors liked it. But that's it. That's all the feedback you get normally from startups. So with one move only, you can fix everything. And technically, you're doing the same kind of videos, even in the same style, even in the same ingredients. So it's a product market fit within product market fit. So you're doing the same thing, but with a slightly different application of it. Let's say your focus is mostly on ads. It solves everything. It solves all the problems. So we're gonna go in this direction for the next 6 or 9 months more, and I'm gonna be posting more content about this because I figured the more I post about something, the more of the similar stuff I get. If I'm posting ad videos, I got a couple of leads asking, can you do ad videos for us? If I'm posting a product launch video for a startup, another 3 startups are reaching out to me, hey, can you do a product launch video like this for us? I did a video for Daniel Dalen, Ecomflow, and he's from e-commerce industry. And that day we got 7 leads from this post in one day, and they were all from e-commerce, which is technically not my industry, and they were not relevant to me because they wanted for an e-commerce store or something. But I say, hey, we are in. It was a SaaS component in there, so technically it's an e-commerce video, but it's about SaaS, and we're doing only SaaS, and we don't want to do anything else. So the more you're doing something, the more you attract more of it. So if I post more about this, I will get more of this. And this is something also I can control with outreach efforts. We're going to launch outreach campaigns in 1 week, and I'm going to be pushing this direction hard. So yeah, pretty much. And yeah, this is point 1. The point 2 is just getting me out of production as much as possible so that I can focus on sales and marketing and content and maybe still doing some creative direction because I need to be in the loop and have a feeling of what's happening with the production team, how they're operating it. I have some comments or feedbacks, how I'd like the video to be done. So yeah, pretty much if I get out of the production, if we push the ad direction a bit more and we get some really great results and case studies with huge enterprises, then yeah, we're in a good spot.
I love it, man. And you've already got your foot in the door with some of these big enterprises as well. So you can also chat to them. But I think it's really admirable as well that you've not tried to force a subscription model on something that you didn't feel like was the right solution for your client. And I really see how with ads, there's you might want to split test, you might want to have an A B C D E F G test, you might want to change the hook on one of the videos that's performing well. Like there is this natural kind of monthly optimization to it, and so it does actually fit the subscription model really nicely, and they can always improve their ROI. So that just lends itself to a nice long-term relationship. But final question for you, mate. Don't want to take up too much of your time. Where can people connect with you, and where can they learn more about Astra Motion?
We have primary source is my LinkedIn probably. You go to LinkedIn, search for Hlib Trazanov, Hlib, hard to pronounce Ukrainian name, which is very similar to bread in translation, so that it's easier to remember. Hlib Trazanov is my LinkedIn page. There is lots of content. I post daily about it. I post about video marketing, the funnel journey, the video types, breaking down some viral videos by big SaaS brands and reverse engineering their success. So there's lots of interesting stuff out there. But other than that, you can visit our website, astramotion.com, and see some of our videos there. Technically, we haven't updated it for a couple of months, so we need to add, I don't know, 30 videos more or something there because it's time consuming. But yeah, the website is another spot you can check. Yeah. And thank you so much for having me, Joe. It was a big pleasure.
Thanks for coming on, Hlib. I'll put the links in the description. Like I say, I'm just super impressed what you're doing. So excited to see what's next for you, man. And
I'll be
yeah,
following
let's
your
see where it
journey
goes.
too. This is super cool. What you did with the crazy offer, flying out, shooting a SaaS content, and then editing it and providing it to the clients for the testimonial alone is just crazy. Like I wouldn't do that. I'm a crazy person. I did some crazy offers, 10-second ad videos for free. You test out how we work. If it performs, we can do more. Like, but you made it to the next level, man. This is so cool.
I appreciate it, man. I think you're up. You like with the sushi. You perfected the sushi. For us, we're still figuring out a little bit more of this, little bit less of that, and I think it's a good it's a good opportunity to be able to give value to people and not have too much, and see where we can go. But yeah, super appreciate it, man.
Thank you so much, Joe. Thanks for having me. Wish you good luck.